Good morning, everyone. My name is Brian Medina, and I have the pleasure, I think he told me to stay away from the speaker. I have the pleasure of introducing our friend Scotty Smith with CycleWorks. He has over 25 years in corporate marketing, and we're excited to have him touch on several things in the B2B space, and he'll touch on some things around HubSpot. And so he's a friend of ours here in the DFW area. He lives just north of Fort Worth, and actually his brother has been very involved with the DFW SEM, and we're excited to have him present to you today. So take it away, Scotty.
Thank you so much, Brian. Wow, we've got a small little intimate group here. So if you have questions during the presentation, that's great. Just let me know. And hi to everybody here in the room. Are y'all doing okay this morning? Yes. Is this your first session, or did you go to the 9 o'clock one as well? Are you halfway awake? Well, I'm hoping to wake you up a little bit more this morning. So again, I am Scotty with CycleWorks. Let's learn something little. I bet some of the stuff that we cover, you're going to look at and think, I know this already, but I want you to look at it from a different perspective today. So first of all, what we're going to cover who I am and what CycleWorks is. We're going to cover a lot of the sales challenges your sales teams have. We're going to cover how marketing can support sales, and then we're actually going to talk about the benefits of you helping sales and how that works marketing now. First of all, do I have any business owners in the room at all? No. Are you all marketers? Okay, fantastic. Well, let's learn something. First of all, who am I? I'm Scotty. I have over 25 years of corporate marketing experience. Prior to that, I was in commission sales. Throughout my corporate marketing experience, I have supported a number of sales departments as well as the marketing departments as well. And I'm also the founder of CycleWorks Marketing 2019. CycleWorks Marketing, who are we? We're a marketing, sales, and HubSpot solutions, specifically for B2B software and information technology companies. Primarily work on Marketing Hub, Sales Hub, and CMS Hub. So if you have HubSpot questions, I'm happy to help you out. But that's not why I'm here. I am here to talk about sales. So one thing, let's see, before I get into that, let me explain something. I started my agency about 3 years ago, all right, primarily as a marketer. Started a marketing agency. I thought I am going to help small to mid-sized companies with their marketing efforts. But one of the first things that I noticed, and this happened early on, is that all these companies, they had sales problems too. And so when you would help them with their marketing, you realize they didn't have a process on the sales side to follow, or their sales teams were disorganized, so they needed help. And so all of a sudden, I started realizing, you know what? I've actually done this my whole career. How can I leverage some of my marketing actions to help the sales team? And what I found out is by doing this, I actually wound up helping myself, helping the marketing efforts as well. So let's get into that. So what are some of the big sales challenges? Every team I have ever worked for, the number one thing when I talk to salespeople, they say, we don't know what marketing is doing for us. We have no idea. You ever heard that? Yeah. The communication between marketing and sales, it always seems to be non-existent. There's always a lack of alignment of what you're doing together. And salespeople, they want leads. They would much rather be handed leads than go out and find them on their own. So they're always looking for marketers to help with that. And they also are always complaining about communication. It takes a lot of time for them to actually go back and forth and communicate with their customers. And sales wants to feel like marketing supports them, and they never do. They always think, oh, we're out there doing everything on the front line and we're getting no support. But I guarantee you that is rarely ever the case. They're usually being supported, they just don't think about it. So let's talk about this and how we can help out. So we're going to look at 4 key areas: standardization, branding, copywriting, and sales and marketing communication. And we're going to see how we can take these 4 areas and help our sales team. So first of all, let's talk about standardization. Marketers, we have to standardize everything we do. We are always resource scarce, where we have to be able to do a lot of things and we have to do it over and over again. Let's think about that. The whole reason we have branding is so we can start being consistent in everything we do, right? We create email newsletters, and we are very consistent about it, and we build them in such a way that the next time we go do it, it's really fast and easy for us to create because we don't have time to do this. But why are marketers so good about standardizing things and salespeople aren't? You know, marketers, we know that we've got to make all this stuff happen. You know, if we can do this, if we can apply standardization of the positioning and messaging, we can help out the entire company. Let's look at this. So we'll create positioning statements, or we'll create a statement, and we know that it has to be on every piece of collateral that we put out, or it has to be in every email or our newsletter or so forth. Why is this same messaging not taken over to the sales side for them to do it as well? Think about this. You've got an entire sales team. Maybe you've got 2 people at the company, or maybe you've got 5 people at the company. People come in, people come out. There's no standardization. What always happens, what I see happen a lot of times, is the sales managers will say, okay, your audience looks like this. You need to find a way to target them. But they don't have any proper onboarding put in place where they don't say, okay, well, we want you to, make all your emails look like this. Here are emails we've already written for you. Here are branding we've already done for you so that you can just step in easy. So let's walk through that. We need to make it so it's very consistent, no matter who an organization is speaking with, the salesperson is speaking with. So if we create, let's say we create a positioning statement for marketing, we should have the salespeople use that as well. We should have them be very consistent in what they do, so that whether there's 2 people or 5, or somebody leaves one day or another person comes in, they're speaking with the same exact messages, and they're using similar scripts, and they're using similar email templates. We're making this easy for the salespeople. All right? Branding. Marketers know the importance of branding. Branding gives us, credibility, authority, brand ID, and it builds loyalty to us. We brand everything, and that's what marketers do. We brand our social media posts. We brand our email newsletters. We brand our, we have the logo that we put out for the company. Everything we do is branded. Think about that. But have you ever looked at salespeople and what they actually use for branding? And we'll talk about this in a minute, but I get emails on the time. I have no idea what company they're from. There's no logos on them. I will be in a presentation with a salesperson. There's no company branding on there. I'm not sure what company they're representing or what they're doing. People will reach out to me online. I have no idea. I'll look them up. No idea who they are with. Why do we put so much effort as marketers on branding, but our salespeople don't? So let's kind of get into how we can help branding for sales. Here are 4 simple ways. Email signatures. This is so basic, but let's talk about email signatures. I get these kind of emails all the time. At a glance, can you tell things that are wrong with it? Logo, not a really great email signature. This one at least says, who they are and what their company is. I can't tell you the number of ones that I get without a company address. Right? Yeah. There's another huge thing. No link to their website. There's one big giant thing right at the very top. Does anybody see it? They're giving me a Gmail address. What would you do if you got an email from somebody with a Gmail address? It's spam. I'm not going to put any credibility to a company like this at all. Okay? It's so easy, but the basics matter. People want to do business with other people. They want to do business with people they like, and they want to do business with people that they trust. First thing that happens when I get a sales email, if it is an interesting note at all, first thing I am going to look up, is that person trustworthy? How am I going to figure out, are they trustworthy? I'm going to look at LinkedIn. All right, now I am bragging a little bit. This is me, but let's look at the difference. Okay? You've got a smiling face right here. Would you rather do business with a smiling face or with somebody with no face at all? Okay. I come from a domain, so I believe in it. I'm branded. I have my LinkedIn connection right here. You can look me up. And if you think companies don't do this when they get an email, you are absolutely wrong, especially your bigger corporate clients. They are getting sold. They are getting messages all the time about things. And some of them might be really relevant. But the first thing they're going to do is say, is this a credible person that I'm dealing with? And so we want to put email, it seems so basic. But because it's oftentimes the first interaction a salesperson has with another company, we want to make sure we are putting our best impression. We want to be branded. We want to know every single time that that company or that person that sees this, sees our information, knows that we are in fact who we are and that we're authoritative and we are credible. All right? So now the other great thing about this is, what if you don't just create it for one salesperson, but what if you create it for your entire sales team? Now let's even take it a step further. What if we put like one of our positioning statements? Or like for me, I've got brand in motion. What if I put brand in motion right here? Every time, no matter who the salesperson is, they come into place, they already have an email address or an email signature for them, so that when they reach out to the clients, it all looks like they're the same company. Now, it might not be that big deal one-to-one, but let's think about when you're doing account-based marketing. I've got one client, and their biggest customer is Amazon Web Services. And we are targeting Amazon Web Services with everything we do. So I've got about 4 different salespeople contacting 300,000 AWS members. Don't you think we want to say, no matter which one of those reps contact them, we want to put our best foot forward. We want to be very consistent in everything we do. Okay? So again, this is a very small thing, but it's so important, and people forget about this. And it's so easy for marketers to do and to roll out to the entire company. Now, something very important. So many people forget about this, but in the B2B space, so important. Like I said, the first thing I'm going to do when I get an email, I'm going to go look up that person on LinkedIn. All right? So, does the company page that they have, does the branding of that person match? Can I tell that that person, when I go to their individual profile, can I tell that they work for the same company that they're sending me to or that they're sending information about? You need to be able to show it. So let's look at one of the companies that I manage right here. Fluid IT. You can see they've got their LinkedIn page, looks like that. Each one of their pages, personal profile pages, is now set up like this. When somebody receives an email from them, they click on it, they're going to go check them out on LinkedIn. You see you got a big smiling face right there. I want to do business with somebody that looks like that. Don't you? Credibility, branding. It's these little bitty things that marketers are so good at and salespeople forget about. What are 2 other areas? Name badge. Look at this. I cannot tell you the number of times. This is so easy. I go to networking meetings. I'm the only one that has one of these. But I'll get a call later saying, I remembered you because of your logo in our conversation. It is the tiniest thing. But again, you're constantly reinforcing your brand and your authority in front of other people. Presentations, just like this one. All right, enough about that. Marketing copywriters. Marketers are fairly good at writing copy. That's why they put us in marketing communication, right? However, I can't tell you the number of times that salespeople aren't. They're great at verbal communication. Sometimes they're great at typing. And so I hear all the time, we're not doing enough for you. But let's be honest, we're nearly always putting out sales collateral for salespeople. But let's look at the other areas that we could help. Email templates. Salespeople spend tons of time writing emails. And sometimes they write it over and over again. And as a salesperson, I can't tell you the number of times I've sat down and thought, what am I going to write? How am I going to respond to this person? Or I just had an issue. What do I do? How do I make this better? Somebody didn't show up for their Zoom meeting. Somebody, I've been waiting at the hotel for 15 minutes for this meeting. They didn't show up. How do I respond? What if we could take all that off their hands? And it's so easy to do, and especially the more I get into HubSpot, I realize just how really easy this is. We can create templates for our salespeople to make things really easy. I've got a sales template that says, if you missed a meeting or if I get stood up, I just go to it and I click that template and it says something like, hey, sorry we missed, let's reschedule. I don't even think about it anymore. I've got templates that come out that says, hey, you know, we've sent you 4 emails in a row. You haven't communicated with us back and forth. Maybe it's time to break up. And it's amazing how if you go in and create templates where you find that your salespeople are constantly writing, then what you can do across the board is your entire company, your entire sales team can standardize on those templates. So a new salesperson comes in, they don't have to recreate the wheel. They can start over. They can start right there. They have templates ready to go. This is amazing because it takes so much onus off the salespeople and it helps them communicate and focus more on their customers. Email sequences. What are marketers great at? We're great at doing marketing automation and email automation, right? We know how to do drip campaigns. What if we did the same thing for salespeople? I think marketers should be the ones that are initiating this. Who knows the difference between email sequences and marketing automation, or sequences marketing automation? Anybody? This is kind of like a finite detail that's come out. Email sequences are one-to-one sales emails, whereas marketing automation applies to one-to-many. So as marketers, we're going to pick a segment of our audience, we're going to target it, and we're going to blast emails out, okay? But salespeople are sending one-to-one emails all day long. And they have to do this because if they're sending one-to-many, then all of a sudden they have to adhere to canned spam laws, and they got to make sure people want to accept their messages. But if they're doing one-to-one emails, they don't have to do that. And so salespeople are sending out one-to-one cold emails all day or warm emails all day. But what if you could put several of those email templates together into an automated sequence so that you run a sales campaign? So now all of a sudden, instead of one-to-one, maybe we create a sales campaign where we have 4 emails in a row. Last summer, I ran a campaign where it said the first one was, hi, I'm Scotty, I'm with PsychoWorks. We do this for marketers. We help companies with these big problems. The second one was focused all about sales. Third one was focused all about marketing. And then the fourth one was, hey, here's a cool value-added content offer that you can have. I'm not going to contact you again. All right? But they weren't marketing emails. They were one-to-one emails. They were just automated as a marketing sequence. And that is one of the things marketers can help salespeople with. And as a result, we can help them really drive outbound sales. We're also great about creating scripts. I can't tell you the number of video scripts that I do for marketing efforts, but why not just go ahead and help create some basic audio scripts or video scripts for our salespeople to use? Do you know the number of times a salesperson picks up the phone and leaves a message and they have no idea and they pull it out of their ass every single time? What am I going to say? How easy would it be if they had a dedicated script they could pull up every single time they leave a voicemail? It would make it so much easier for them. Improving communication between sales and marketing. Huge. One of the number one problems that I see people have, they don't talk back and forth. So how many of y'all put out a content calendar for marketing? Do it? You know, where you list, okay, we're going to have this email newsletter go out on this date. We're going to have social media that's going to drop on this date. Our webinars are on this date. We're going to backfill it up. We're going to make sure we're all marked out. Do any of y'all share that with the sales team? I know very few companies that do. And so what I started doing at the last organization I worked with is I actually took our content calendar and I actually started sharing it with sales and sales execs and all the executives. But it's not enough to just share it. Okay? Because what winds up happening is they forget to look at it. Strangely enough, they never seem to understand how to subscribe to calendars correctly. So, handhold them. Go over there, make sure they have it set up. Show them the importance of looking at this. Show the importance of having this show up along with their normal calendar. Why? Because if we're going to be going and putting a social post out on Wednesday, how great would it be if these same salespeople went and shared that post with their audience? If we're putting out a newsletter on Tuesday, wouldn't it be great if they went and made a quick email to all their clients and say, hey, did you see our latest newsletter or our latest blog post that we put out? But if you don't share it, how can you possibly expect for them to know when things are coming out? They've got their own thing. And salespeople, again, they have to be handheld. So what I would also ask is I would put a tickler on your calendar. So once every month or two, you go over to the salespeople and ask them, are you using this? And remind them. And sometimes it'll take a couple of times. But once they start doing it, they will be so appreciative. Now, like I said, if we're doing social posts, we want our salespeople to be engaged with us. But how many marketers expect other people to know how to use social media? The majority of the salespeople I've talked to, they don't know how to use social media correctly. I live in the B2B space, so I'm on LinkedIn all the time. You need to be able to actually teach them how to share. What does that involve? Sometimes that involves coming up with a couple of scripts to make it really, really easy for them, again, to handhold them. You know, hey, our team just put out this great notice. You know, I know it will help you with this. Explain to them what hashtags mean. I guarantee you 95% of the people that are on LinkedIn really do not know how to use hashtags. Would y'all agree with me on that? Don't expect that your salespeople will. They certainly don't. I've actually had a very long conversation with every client that I've worked for, and their minds have always been blown when I've explained to them the way LinkedIn hashtags actually work. Because they truly will come up and they will write some post and they'll go hashtag, hashtag, every time they want to call out something exciting on it. And I keep telling them that's not the way things work. So show them, teach them, make it easy for them. Because when they do this, it takes your messaging and expands your reach. So now all of a sudden, instead of a smaller audience that you might normally be sending it to, that audience is expanding and growing. Let's go to the next step with it. Leverage the sales team to grow your followers on LinkedIn. It is so easy. Add them to your business page and have them add their key clients on there. Because every time people follow your LinkedIn page, it is the same thing with them saying, hey, I want to see your information. We want people to follow our LinkedIn content. It is so much easier than following a newsletter. Let's look at what happens if I send out a newsletter. If I want somebody to subscribe to my newsletter, what are the steps that have to take? You got to fill out a form on my website. My website will send you a form saying, hey, is this really you? You have to click on it. Yes, it is me. I want it. All right. Versus LinkedIn. LinkedIn, you click one button, follow. Now my company information, all of our company's social posts, it winds up in their feeds all the time. How great is that? Let your salespeople help you grow this. All right, let's move on. Lead forms. Lead forms, are they set up correctly? When's the last time you actually checked? When's the last time you actually checked, are your forms correct people? I just had my assistant go through, we redid one of our company's clients' websites. And in the process, about half of the forms, I don't know why, but they lost the notification on them. So the main salespeople that were supposed to be getting the notifications weren't getting the notifications. I wanted to be copied on all of it. I wasn't on there. So it's so easy to do. Make sure that that happens. Do they have the correct sales? Salespeople change all the time. Are your leads going to the right salespeople? Are your sales teams broken out by geography? If they are, make sure you have it split so that the right one goes to the right lead or the right contact. Do they need to be set up so your salespeople get them in a round robin fashion? The new automated tools make this very easy, but you need to go do this as a marketer, and your salespeople will be thankful that you do. Make sure also they know what to do when they get a lead. Make sure they know the importance of responding right away, because I cannot tell you the number of salespeople that, oh, great, it's a lead, I will get to that in my list. No, it's somebody who's sending you a buying signal right then and there. Make sure that they follow up with it immediately. Sales and marketing communication. So when we start doing all these things, communication between sales and marketing increases. They start trusting marketers more. And because of that, they start feeling that they can communicate back and forth. All right? And the great thing is when they actually communicate, because they're on the front line, if leads are not the right leads, they can come and tell you directly. You can adjust that. We can start making changes in the audience or changes in our messages. But if that communication is not there, then you're always left wondering what is really going on. Why am I having these issues? If prospects are having concerns, they need to be shared with marketing. Well, think about this. What do marketers do? We go out and we write content on, concerns or great things about our product. But wouldn't it be great if we knew that, hey, our product has this one issue that needs to be addressed? Or even better, what if there's some wonderful thing about our product that our clients are loving, but the salespeople never tell us about and is in none of our marketing materials? So the benefit of having really great communication is that it helps both ways. So 4 areas we can help: standardization, branding, marketing, copywriting, sales and marketing communication. A lot of these things that I talked about, they can seem so basic, but they have such big, giant implications for you and your companies. And I guarantee when you help the sales team, it will come back to help you so much. And it will help your company. It will help your company grow. You're going to expand your reach. You're going to develop trust. You're going to improve your products and services. All these things are fantastic. So make sure all these things are done and help your branding and position efforts as well. I'm Scotty, and if y'all have any questions, happy to answer them. And if you don't, I'll do a little song and dance.
Let's give a round of applause for Scotty. Good job, Scotty. I think we don't need the mic. Is there anybody who has a quick question or thoughts? Or
So about those LinkedIn hashtags. So can you explain how they work?
Yeah, LinkedIn hashtags. All right. This is fun. LinkedIn. On the bottom, when you go to your homepage in LinkedIn, bottom left-hand side, you'll see followers. When you sign up for LinkedIn, you choose which hashtags to follow, right? You probably forgot about it. It was a long time ago when you probably set it up, right? But here's the deal. When you add those specific hashtags, then the LinkedIn algorithms will share your content post with people that follow those hashtags. Okay? So give an example like AWS. So the bottom of our LinkedIn post for one of my clients, Synchronet, we will include hashtags for AWS or cloud computing, stuff like that. So people that follow those type of hashtags will automatically see them in their feed, whether or not they subscribe to them or not. So hashtags can be incredibly valuable. They can get your message out to a targeted audience. So one thing I always work with all my clients on, let's spend a little time at the beginning before we start doing your social media, identifying who your audience is on LinkedIn, what hashtags do they follow, and then let's make sure we include relevant hashtags for various posts that we do. Like I said, I've got one client, they're an AWS customer, or AWS is their main client, but they do several different things. They do AWS Connect and EUC. And so we have different sets of hashtags for each. So whether or not they're actually following our company, they're actually going to see it in their feeds. Does that help? Anything else?
I got a question.
Yeah.
So, the HubSpot scenario, certain companies have the HubSpot marketing automation set up. I mean, is there a certain sweet spot on what's a good company to utilize that platform?
HubSpot, I love HubSpot because it can scale from very, very tiny entrepreneurs to small companies to mid-sized companies to enterprise. They have different levels of platform for each. Now, honestly, I make a much bigger commission selling everybody on pro level, but I have several clients that I put on the starter level. And my thought with them is that all you need is the starter level. And until you're using all the features on this, I don't want to see you go up to the bigger level because I think it's a waste of your money. Okay. But even on starter, you get Marketing Hub, you get Sales Hub Starter, you get Service Hub Starter, you get Operations Hub, and you get CMS Hub. It's stupid ridiculous. With Starter, $50 a month for that entire suite, they will now host your website, a secured website at that, with up to 50 pages. Which is ridiculous, right? Why pay $350 a month to WordPress engine to host a WordPress site when you can do a secured website on HubSpot? The other great thing on HubSpot is that if I create a website in it, now I'm using one single portal, one for everything they do, whether it's sales, marketing, or CMS. So if I want to make a change to the website, has the marketer, I can go in on the fly and make that change. If I want to make a change to the form, I don't have to create some kind of fancy form. It's the same form, that just passes information through the rest of the system. It's easy. And again, that's whether you're on the small starter or you go up to the pro or the enterprise level. Now, I will say with HubSpot, the difference between their starter marketing and their pro is about $800, which is nuts. Okay? But when you're ready for it, in my opinion, there's no greater tool. It's so easy to use. And I will say I've also used, I am older, okay? I have been doing CRMs and implementing them since the mid-90s. I've implemented at least 8 different CRMs for different companies, and I have been trained on at least 6 different marketing automation tools. HubSpot by far is the easiest to use. One single portal, it's all built together, and they are innovating constantly. I didn't mean to get on a HubSpot rant, but I could just go on and on and on about it. But any other questions? Did anybody learn something today? Yes. Are you going to look at emails a little bit different? And it's crazy because it's one of these things that's so tiny, but it can make such a big deal. Just remember, people like doing business with other people. Let me leave you with one thing at the very end. I'm going to leave you with a tip. I wish I had learned earlier in my career. Unfortunately, I did not learn this until about 4 years ago. And I hope I impart on you that you'll learn this. There is value in networking. It's probably the most important thing you can ever do as marketers. As a marketer, I cannot tell you the number of corporations I've worked for. The first company, the first department that winds up getting cut or get laid off is marketing. Don't wait till you're in between jobs to network. Make it part of your life. Find ways to connect with other people. Because if you do, you'll never look for work again. I didn't realize this until recently, like I said. and it's made a huge difference in my life since I did. So I hope everybody can take that away with you. Anyway, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. And we even finished early too. Wow. That was good.